Hi guys, thank you for joining me. As you know, the third book in the Wild Magic Trilogy is coming out in June. It's called The Promise Witch, and it is the final chapter in Mup and Crow's adventures. I can't believe we're almost at the end. Thank you for coming on this journey with Mup and Crow and me. I thought maybe before the book was out, I might read you a little tiny section from one of the early chapters. This part is Mup has just gone up to visit Crow in his Vardo, where he now lives on top of the castle, and she's finding quite strange things happening up there. Mup felt the darkness before she had even cleared the edge of the roof. She heard Crow's song, too, drifting like a shadow under the scent of thyme blossom and early hyacinth. She rose above the level of the roof's parapet. There was dread in her heart, but she was prepared now, as she had not been before, for the tangle of power that permeated the sunny roof garden. "Oh, Crow," she thought, "what are you doing?" Was this why her friend insisted on being alone? Was this why he lived so far from everyone? Still floating, Mup curled her fingers around the edge of the parapet and listened. Crow's song snaked around the Vardo, weaving in and out, up and down. His words were unintelligible. Mup was not 100% certain that they even were words. Perhaps Crow was simply making sounds, allowing his heart to speak into the music without any constraint. Her eyes could not see the magic that Crow's song invoked, but her heart could feel it, and it was dark. Carefully, Mup reached across the parapet and pressed her palm to the flat of the roof. "Show me," she thought. The caravan seethed in shadows. Its colours flickered on and off, colour and grey, as if the Vardo were hopping between two places, or hopping between two times, night and day, maybe, life and death, heaven and... Mup snatched her hand away. The roof garden snapped back into focus. The shadows retreated to their place, all except one shadow. Crouched in the dark pool of shade beneath the Vardo, hunched a small, unhappy shape. Mup startled as she realized that the shape was a person. Then she frowned as she realized that she knew who that person was. Angry now, Mup crawled over the parapet. She waded through the seething magic that surrounded the Vardo. She got down on her hands and knees in a fizzing torment of air and met the anguished eyes of the little grey girl. "What are you doing?" Mup hissed. "You're to leave Crow alone, do you hear me?" The ghost actually jumped. She shielded her face with her hands. She tried to crawl away. Mup's anger melted. The poor creature was utterly confused. "I'm sorry," said Mup. "For a minute I thought you were causing this, but you're not, are you? It's Crow." Crow's song, seeping down from the Vardo above them, changed pitch, and the poor ghost gasped. She shook her head. She covered her ears. "Crow!" yelled Mup, hammering her fist on the bottom of the Vardo. "Crow! Stop singing!" Silence crashed down around them. There came a series of startled noises from above. Mup reached in between the wheels of the Vardo and took the little grey girl's hand. "It's okay," she said. He stopped. Overhead, the Vardo door banged open. Crow clattered down the steps. The little grey girl squinted around as if only now aware of where she was. She moaned in disgust. She flung herself backwards, and Mup, still clinging to the girl's hand, was dragged with her into the dark. There came a horrible, squashing, stretching feeling, as if Mup was made of jelly and someone was dragging her through a keyhole. For a brief moment, bits of her got very narrow, bits of her got very wide, and all of her was very uncomfortable. And then she was out the other side, zooming through the air, still clutching tightly to the little grey girl's hand. "Stop!" she cried. "Stop!" They stumbled to a halt, staggering together in the dimness. Mop felt very strange. There and not there, stretched like a bit of elastic. Then everything twanged back together, and she felt surprisingly all right again. "Where are we?" She looked around. They were in an endless corridor of smooth walls and floor. Everything seemed to be made of mist. Far off, down at the very end of the corridor, a gentle light glowed. Overhead, the low ceiling was soft and drifting like cloud. The floor rippled and flowed beneath Mop's feet like a river of fog. "But where are we?" she asked again. The grey girl was standing with her hands folded on her ashy chest, a look of relief on her face. At Mop's repeated question, she smiled. "Home," she breathed in her raspy, unused voice. "Home? This is where you live now?" "Sleep," murmured the girl, laying herself down into the fog. "Oh, wait!" cried Mop. The little girl seemed to be blending with the floor. She was disappearing into the mist. Wait, don't leave me. I don't know where I am." The girl roused herself, grouchily lifting her head from the flowing grey. "This is a sleeping place," she insisted. "Why you keep waking me? I am not—" She seemed to realize for the first time that she was talking to Mop. Her bright black eyes widened in horror. "What are you doing here?" she rasped. "You're not dead." "Well, I should hope not," said Mop. The girl rushed to her feet in a swirl of fog. "Stop that!" she cried. "Stop what?" Mop looked down at herself in alarm. Her body was a mass of shimmering gold. "Oh, goodness, I'm all shiny." She held her hands to her face, and she could see right through them, as if she was made of glitter and honey. "How lovely," she said. "Not lovely," growled the girl. "You're alive. Alive persons are bad for the ghost place. Too shiny, hurting our eyes with glitter. Too noisy, hurting our ears with singing." "It wasn't me singing," said Mop. "It was Crow. Let's face it, I hadn't much choice about coming to the ghost place. You dragged me here." The grey girl growled again. She spun Mop. "Look!" A tunnel of mist opened at the command of the girl's pointing finger. There were figures at the far end of it, moving frantically. "Listen," rasped the girl. Voices came faintly through, panic-stricken, angry, afraid. "Who's that?" whispered Mop. The girl hissed urgently in her ear. "Tell the boy to stop rousing the dead." "What?" The girl pushed Mop hard between her shoulder blades. The tunnel of fog opened like a rose, and Mop fell into it. She tumbled towards the voices, the words getting clearer as the distant figures moved against the light. "She's dead! She's dead!" Was that Crow? "How did this happen, boy?" Fiona, shouting. "She was on the ground. When I came out, she called me. I came out, and there she was." Naomi's voice, paper thin compared to the others, said she had been unwell in the courtyard. "Why did you leave her alone then?" yelled Fiona. Mop tumbled and spun, and the figures came clear through the mist. "Oh, look," she thought in surprise. "There I am." And there she was indeed, lying on the ground as the others bent over her. "I do look quite dead," she thought. Crow wrung his hands, his face wet with tears. "Save her, Fiona!" A great shadow swooped over everything, and Mop knew that Mam had just landed on the roof. But there was no more time for looking and listening, because Mop was zooming down through colours. She was tumbling down through hot air. There was a brief, alarming close-up of her own face, slack and dead-looking, surrounded by the soft cloud of her hair. And then, bam! She was heavier than clay, and slam! Her heart was tripping like a hammer, and gasp! She was trying to suck in air. It all got very confusing then, and Mop's concentration was entirely taken up with reminding her lungs how to breathe, and reminding her heart how to beat, and everything else disappeared for quite a while. Hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed reading it for you. Like I said, Promise Witch is out in June, and please, if you can, I'd love if you could get it from your local independent bookshop. They contribute so much to your community, and I would like, as much as possible, if we could all support the independent bookshops. I love to hear from my readers, so if you'd like to write to me, please do. All my contact details are here, and if you send me artwork, I will put it up on my blog, and if you write to me, I will always answer. Sometimes I'm slow, but I do always get back to you guys. So enjoy the Promise Witch. Let me know what you think of it, and thank you again for coming along with me and Mup and Crow on this journey. Bye.